I've been wanting to do this for quite some time, and that's have a sit-down conversation with my own personal doctor, Dr. Bruce Fong, and holistic coach and fitness trainer for 35 plus years. He trains some of the most incredible athletes in the world, really. I have them both, and it's rare to have them both here on Unfiltered with Steve Sanchez, and we have them now. I have Dr. Bruce Fong. He is the medical director for Nutronics Labs. He also is the founder of Sierra Integrative Medical Center. And again, also I have Ron Oliver, who's hanging out with us as well, holistic coach, fitness coach, trainer. And this is going to be good because we're talking about my story. It's hard to do it on radio all the time, my story, because you got little commercials here and there and you got to play it in a certain way. But this is going to be a straight to the point, what happened with me, why it happened, how I got some correction, and how Nutronics Labs has been working. I've been getting a lot of people sending me messages on the DM saying, Steve, you look fantastic. Steve, you look great. What are you doing? Well, it's what I've been saying for 6 months. So we're going to talk about that now. So Dr. Fong, Ron Oliver, thanks for hanging out a little bit with me today. Both of you guys are incredible geniuses in my opinion. And I know some people will say, oh, come on, Steve, what are you talking about? No, it's seriously, if you look at these guys and what they know, and not only what they know on a practical and what they really practice for their own lives, their bodies, you'll see that they know what they're talking about. And it's been really good for me to kind of, see these guys and get a wealth of knowledge from them. But let's start with this. I'll start with Dr. Fong because Bruce, you've known me for years. You were one of the key players in keeping me alive during COVID. I had double pneumonia. I was sick, awful. You know that. You prescribed some things for me, got me set up on some supplements. And I don't think if it was for you, the grace of God and you helping me, I might not even be doing a podcast with you guys right now because a lot of people were succumbing to COVID based on, being overweight or diabetic or whatever the case is. And, you've been a huge factor in my life. And so you led me down this road to where we're at. So just wanted to give that quick background because Bruce, I've known you for a number of years and just, wow, what was it? Dr. Fong, 6-7 months ago, I came to you in a panic that I was told I had diabetes. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's Steve, you're way too generous. Yeah. I mean, I'm always there. Like those many years ago, we dealt with COVID and certain political people that were trying to keep us from being able to take care of people. That was the main story, but we won't get into that now. But I'm glad that I made a great friend in you, and I'm real glad that we have this opportunity. And I don't think anything happens by accident. When you came to me about the diabetes, man, it was a wake-up call to action. I said, hey, we got something here for you. And I'm looking at you now, and man, I'm amazed. I mean, you've really, your whole body habitus looks different. You've lost weight, you put on muscle, you look better. I mean, not to say it bad, buddy, but you didn't look too good when you were talking to me, when you first told me your face was sunken down. You looked tired. You actually just did not look healthy to me. And it's night and day. I mean, you look so much better than we could even hope for. I mean, you look amazing. You've always gone 1,000% with stuff, and that's what I love about you. And so it's not only what I did for you, but all the other stuff. It's a lot of discipline. It's a lot of hard work to bring yourself back. And I'm extremely proud of where you've gotten with all this.
Oh, I appreciate that because it was tough. I mean, I talked to you in September of 25. They told me my A1C was 9.3. I was in a panic. You said, Steve, this is not a death sentence. I remember you saying that, Steve, this is not a death sentence. But then you said, but you have to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, I'm willing to do anything. And I'm sure as a doctor, not only a doctor for Sierra, Integrative Medical Center, but the medical director for Nutronics Labs, you hear this from people all the time, but I told you this, and you'll probably recall, I said, look, I don't want to lose my sight. I don't want to lose my feet. I don't want to die. What do I do? My testosterone's in the garbage. I have no energy. I feel fuzzy eyes in the morning. You said, look, here's what you're going to have to do nutritionally. But most importantly, let me introduce you to Nutronics Labs. You did 6.5 months ago. I'm 53 pounds down now. My A1C is now 5.4. And I've got about another 40 pounds to go, and I'm going to get there. I lost the blurry vision. My high blood pressure is no longer high blood pressure. I'm usually 122 over 75 on the blood pressure. The low T, the low testosterone doesn't exist for me anymore. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling, like I did 20 years ago. And yeah, it's God. Yes, it's discipline. But I'm going to tell you something. Nutronics Labs has been a big part of this for me. I will argue this with anybody that are naysayers out there. Nutronics Labs has been a big deal for me because I've been taking that Man's Edge, and then I've been taking the IGF-1 300,000. It's been perfect for me, and I feel better than I ever have.
Yeah, I mean, you're amazing. I mean, it's just your story is it's got to be gotten out there because it's got to be inspirational, people. And just like you said, diabetes does not have to be a death sentence. It is a lifestyle choice, especially when you catch it earlier on. You can make a big difference with a lot of things that are not pharmaceutical. There, you can make a big difference with changing your life, changing your diet, and getting on the Nutronics Labs products like you just mentioned, the Man's Edge, which is going to get your testosterone up, and really our flagship product, our main product, which is the IGF-1 Plus, which is just pure deer antler extract. And we can talk about why that's important. But in essence, the pure deer antler extract is everything that you have in your body in the presence of human growth hormone. But in particular, in your case too, the main motivator of all the effects of human growth hormone is a growth factor known as insulin-like growth factor 1. And just by the name, you can imagine that how that could be beneficial for your metabolism, in particular your glucose metabolism, because it works with the receptors with that as well. And so there's a lot of things I'm getting into. I'll let you lead the conversation on that, but that's just amazing. And I just applaud you, brother.
I'm a skeptic by nature. Ron, you and I had this conversation when I had a visit with you and actually Roy Jones Jr. not too long ago. And I'm a skeptic by nature. So anytime someone says, I got a supplement for you, you know what I always think in the back of my head? Oh, God, they're going to get me into a multi-level marketing scheme or something. I'm thinking, oh, God, here comes the multi-level marketing. But this wasn't that. This was different. This was real. There's no multi-level marketing. It's just this is some stuff that works. Ron, you train Roy Jones Jr., you train world-class athletes. You look great. You are disciplined when it comes to fitness, to holistic medicine. Why IGF? I mean, Dr. Fong spoke a little bit on it. I'm a result. I'm a testimony. But why IGF, in your opinion, especially when you're working with a lot of these world-class athletes?
Well, at the end of the day, right, we're living in the modern world. And, I want to say congratulations first for your amazing success. And I want everybody out there who's listening right now, who is in your situation prior to you where you are now. There's, countless millions of people in the shoes you used to be in right now. And I want everybody to know it's not your fault. And this is because we're living in a world where marketing companies have over decades convinced people in America and Canada to drink and eat things that have destroyed our health, destroyed our manhood, and made us the weakest humans we've ever been in the history of man. So everybody needs to know they've been duped by corporations who have no honor and integrity that'll sell anything to us if we'll just buy it, right? Yeah, so that's what everyone needs to know. And in my business of 35 years, I've looked at thousands of companies, because everybody brings me their supplements. They tell me what they're eating. They tell me what they're drinking. I have to know all these things with every single client. I've had tens of thousands of clients in the last 35 years. So I've looked at everything. And I look at things very deeply. I do the research because I like to know everything about everything to do with my business because I love what I do. It's a ton of fun. Getting people healthy, getting them fit, helping them live longer, getting rid of their aches and pains, helping them get their libido back. All of this it's the best job in the world. There's nothing more fun than what I'm doing. I got the greatest job in the world. So when I hear what you've done to yourself, I just want to tell you congratulations. And I'm proud of you. And I hope millions, I hope everyone in America will make the decision to change their lifestyle because everybody's life matters, right? We have been given this gift called life. And we're not taking care of it because we've been misguided. We've been misinformed. In fact, we've been indoctrinated to do some very crazy things like spend our hard-earned money on artificial beverages. I mean, there's beverages being sold right now. They're trying to tell us it's better than water for hydration. Really? Yeah. Come on. This
Right.
is nonsense. It's just insane what's going on. So when I came across Nutronics Labs, after praying to find the best products in the world for anti-aging and for helping men and women with their hormones to fix this problem of a major testosterone crisis, hormone imbalance in women, also a growth hormone deficiency, all the growth factors. It is an absolute tragedy what has happened to Americans and Canadians alike where I live up in Canada. And it should not be this way. And it's just going back to what I said, and we're not being given the right advice. So when I came across Nutronics Labs, you know, first thing I'm doing is I'm basically interrogating Mr. Rick Lentini, the owner of the company, because I don't trust nobody. I don't trust anything I see or read or hear. Nowadays, you have to be very diligent in finding out what's really going on. I have a lot of questions, a long list of questions that my mentor taught me to ask, who was a formulator of natural medicine, a brilliant biochemist and a doctor. So I ask all the tough questions. And there's only been 3 or 4 companies, let me think, 4 companies in my whole career that actually passed the test of answering all these questions to my satisfaction as to how I was mentored. So I was pleasantly surprised when I talked to Mr. Rick Lentini and found out what is going on with Nutronics Labs, what these products are really all about, how they were formulated, and why they're so good. And it was so simple to me. I could hear my mentor echoing it in my mind when I was being given the answers to all my questions. Nothing dead can support life. This is what I'm trying to drill into everybody's mind since I was taught this principle. Nothing dead can support life. We were given living water, fresh air, living food, and living medicine by God above.
Yeah.
It's given to everything to consume on the earth that lives. But we have been convinced to drink dead recycled water, eat dead processed fake food, and drink crazy weird beverages, and then take dead supplements and drugs. Okay, how is that working out for America?
No, it's not.
Working
Not
out.
working. So with Nutronics Lab, it's all about the genesis of this company, right? This company was created out of the love for a cousin of Mr. Rick Lentini, who was dying of ALS, given 2 weeks to live.
Incredible
So
story.
he's trying to save his cousin, right? Of course, wouldn't you? Wouldn't I? So he interviews a couple of brilliant doctors. We don't have time to get into all that. But long story short, he kept hearing about deer antler extract. He said, where can I get the best in the world? They said New Zealand. They're on a plane to New Zealand. They came back with the ingredients, and they made a formula that they could give to his cousin through intravenous. And not only did he, get better, he lived 15 years without the symptoms of ALS. Now, of course, we're not claiming this is the cure for ALS, but that's what happened. And it's a miracle. And it's because of God giving us all of these incredible ingredients. Over 400 bioavailable, living, active ingredients in this bottle. And a shocking 1,000,000 nanograms of IGF-1 naturally occurring in this from the deer antler extract. And it is a game changer, along with the Man's Edge, which you know all about because you're taking it.
Yeah.
And that's the other product I'm taking is this one. So I'm just going to tell everybody right now, just so you all know, okay? Man's Edge, which is right here. Hold on. I feel like Vanna White right now. I'm not as good looking, of course. But here's the Man's Edge. Man's Edge, the 1,000,000 nanograms of the IGF-1 and the 300,000 with the Long Jack in there. That combination is shockingly awesome. I'm giving it to all my guys, Roy Jones Jr., myself. I got everybody on this stack for the man. This will turn any man into a warrior, even if he's starting out as a wimp. He just needs to take it long enough. It's going to change his life, because once you start letting your body get into homeostasis and start manufacturing the hormones you're supposed to have, like testosterone makes you a man, right?
Exactly.
And because this is living, see, they vacuum out the ingredients from the living antler of a living deer. They don't kill the deer, so everybody knows. And then they cold press it, just like we make olive oil. It's one of the most amazing oils in the world. And then it's freeze dried, which preserves the vitality of the nutrients better than dehydration by far. There's no better way. And then they put it in this bottle in an extract, right? And then it's a liposome delivery system, which is also natural. And you have 98.6% absorption straight into the bloodstream from going under the tongue. doesn't require any discipline, any effort.
It's
doesn't even taste
mind
bad.
blowing. Ron,
Yes,
and we're going to come back. We're going to come back to that million in a minute. I want to say this, so I think it's important because a lot of men 50 and older, and some younger, you said something about, hey, I'm vital again, testosterone. Let me share this with you, and I want to premise on that $1 million, or excuse me, that million plus nanogram of the IGF. I'm only on 300,000. I feel that's fine for me. I know everybody's different, but I had no idea that this, because I've reversed diabetes. I mean, let's just be honest. I'm in remission. I've reversed this thing, and it's going to stay like that. So, but I didn't know I had this. I probably had it for a couple, 3 years prior, and I was feeling just like I had a flat tire in the bedroom, man. I'm not going to lie. There were days that were better. There were days that were horrible. Well, I'm married. You still want to have this great sex life, right? And so I got, and this is going to what you say, Ron, and Dr. Fong, you'll chime in because you're a doctor on this. I was hearing the commercials on TV. Come to this men's clinic and we can do injections for you, or come and we can do this therapy. It's like a vibrating therapy where they will literally go and I can't remember that.
It's an ultrasonic thing that's supposed to open circulation.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I fell for that, and I went to that ultrasonic thing. I won't mention the company, and I'm not going to lie. For about 2 months, I felt better. I felt like, wow, I'm getting kind of, my game back. Then it just went away and it never came back. And they tried to convince me, come back, they're $4,000 here and that. And I was at a point where I'm like, man, you know what? This is just not good. I hear about stories. I'm too young to have low testosterone at 260 testosterone. That's low, guys. 260. I'm too young for this. But I'm going to tell you something. This stuff, this man's edge that I'm taking, it didn't happen overnight. So there's no magic pill. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I took the drops and 2 days later, man, I was a stud. And that didn't happen. But I can tell you this, something started changing after a few days. I can't describe it. I just felt a little more energized. I was falling asleep quicker, but sleeping better through the night and not getting up as much. And then within about a 30-day, that sweet spot, everybody says 30 days. I'm telling you, within about a 30-day period, which I haven't done in years, had morning wood.
Hallelujah.
It's this. This is what it is.
So, I mean, you got to remember that, obviously when we created the Man's Edge at Nutronics Labs, so again, the Nutronics Labs Man's Edge is a culmination of research that came about because we wanted to find the best way to help people with testosterone, with guys in particular. And remember, we're not, when we're talking about Man's Edge, we're talking about the fact that we have testosterone, and over time, we gradually just don't have as much as we need. And the same thing when we're talking about our IGF-1, we're talking about is in essence not having enough human growth hormone in our body. So we're trying to replace all the growth factors with that. But this whole culmination of research came with 3 rock star ingredients that are natural that help you to bring back your testosterone production: fenugreek, long jack, and of course tribulus. But also the fenugreek is our major rock star. He's our lead singer, if you will. He actually, I keep saying he, but anyway, the fenugreek actually has the ability to modulate the receptors, meaning that everything Ron was saying about how poisonous a world we have, all these things are messing with us. It's not just about making testosterone, it's about being able to use it. And when our receptors are messed up, that's one of those things they teach you in endocrinology and stuff, that if you don't have everything lined up in your pathway, whatever you're putting into that pathway may not go the way you want it to. So even if you have the testosterone, it may not be it may not be 100%. And the beautiful part about this is that fenugreek actually helps modulate those receptors so that you get maximal benefit out of the testosterone. And the other thing I want to warn you guys about out there, and Steve, you're the prime example. You talked about erectile dysfunction being the main thing first, but then of course down the line we find out that we had diabetes in there. And you see that, you guys, these things shouldn't be happening to us at all, period. If we can maintain good testosterone levels, good, in essence, good growth hormone levels, but in this case, having all the growth factors that the growth hormone makes, our bodies are resilient enough, especially with what Ron was saying, we're taking care of ourselves properly. where our bodies are resilient enough to resist all these things. We can not only age gracefully, believe it or not, now we have a study that actually shows this, that the deer antler, which is in Nutronics Labs IGF-1 Plus, is actually able to reverse aging. This is landmark stuff that just came out from research that, in essence, they studied the growing deer antler. The stem cells of the deer antler produce these vesicles, which contain all kinds of different properties. But in essence, they activate genes that wake up old cells. So in rats, I think it was bone marrow cells that they woke up. The old bone marrow wasn't producing a whole lot. When they introduced this stuff in there, the bone marrow cells woke up. They started producing, all kinds of blood cells and whatever you would normally see bone marrow produce at a much higher rate, just like there were normal cells as opposed to being old cells. They were, and you guys, if you're not familiar with it, laboratory people do that all the time. They breed animals to look old, simulate this and that. And in this case, you made the rats younger. Then they did it on monkeys. And guess what? The monkeys started acting differently. And the end result was, neurologically, the monkeys were doing more things. But the end result with the research came up with the understanding that they all agreed that the monkeys in particular regressed, meaning went backwards in their aging by 2.14 years equivalent. So in other words, you actually reversed aging again. And that's the exact same thing we're seeing here, that this is pure deer antler velvet in the Nutronics Labs IGF-1 product. And in that in particular, I think we turned you around more with this. And then the addition of the increased testosterone built your whole body up. The metabolism was better. Your body habitus was better. You are processing that sugar a lot better. Literally eliminating that insulin resistance, which is by far the main reason why most people get diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is because of insulin resistance. Our body just can't utilize the insulin the right way. But the utilization of these growth factors and the boosting of the testosterone, it drives insulin sensitivity. It drives us to have a better body habit, more lean body mass, less fat, for instance. And it helps that metabolism turn around, especially in the case of where you're there. I mean, you are literally transformed. I mean, you look so different than when I first met you. You are just incredible. And again, I credit your hard work. And like I said, obviously I believe in these. I'm not just the medical director for Nutronics. I use these products myself, and I can't tell you how much I would say that I probably might not even be around right now myself with all the stress I go through if I wasn't around.
And with that said, and I'm going to come to you here in a minute, Ron, because it's real important. What I'm going to ask is, and just to, again, piggyback on that, I wouldn't have probably done it if you didn't recommend it, because again, I was feeling in the past, oh gosh, supplements, multi-level marketing, these types of things. But because of my experiences with you and the help that you gave me through COVID, of course, you were the first call I made when I went to my family doctor. I consider you my personal doctor, private doctor. I'm in the media, and so there's certain private things that even my family doctor doesn't know that Dr. Fong knows, and I rely on you. So I went to you, and you said this, and I did it. And then I got to meet Ron. I got introduced to Ron by Dr. Rick Lentini, the founder of Nutronics Labs. So Ron, being that you're a holistic, coach and fitness instructor, and you eat right, you're very disciplined with how you eat and the things that you do. You know what I have found, Ron, is being that I've been doing this Nutronics, is that my body rejects bad stuff that I sometimes eat out of old habits. Like if I'm at a restaurant, I might take a bite of something because psychologically, I missed it or whatever. So I go take a bite of it. My body rejects it. I feel crappy. I don't feel I'm not really craving the things that I used to either. Does that make sense?
100%. When you get your body closer and closer to homeostasis, you're changing your whole physiology. And so you're going to start losing the cravings that you have developed from the foods and the beverages that they made addictive to make everybody fat and sick in America. That's just what they did. Okay. What you have to understand is the massive tobacco companies hired the most brilliant scientists in the world to actually make cigarettes extremely addictive. And once they built their mega billion-dollar empire, they took those exact same scientists and they put them to work when they bought the biggest food manufacturing plants in America, they put them to work to make all the beverages and processed foods they're manufacturing highly addictive. Okay. So what happened is when you started following the instructions of Dr. Fong, especially using these bioavailable products that are, we're talking 400 essential ingredients, compounds, growth factors that you're not getting from this crappy diet in America. They're going straight into your bloodstream. It started to change everything for you from day one. It just took a little while for you to feel it because you had such a massive problem with malnutrition. And once you got your levels up to a decent level, that's when you started feeling like you don't want this and that you used to want to consume because your body's getting into proper order. And so it's starting to function properly. There's no one's body out there that's craving a donut. Nobody's body's craving a hot dog. Nobody has a deficiency in aspirin or Tylenol. Hello, that's not how this thing works. These are things we've been sold on doing because they, the marketing is brilliant, right?
Yeah,
so now we're talking about going to God's pharmacy and what is being put in a bottle without denaturing these ingredients, put into a patented delivery system that is perfect. It's as close as perfect as you can ever get that I've ever seen. 98.6% absorption is near perfect because the only thing better than 98.6, you go all the way up to 100. I don't even know if that's possible,
Sure, right.
And so they've changed my life because I'm a guy who has been living very strict. They call me radical. They call me extreme. That's how I am. I don't want to be any other way. I haven't been to a doctor since I'm a little boy. Okay. I haven't been sick for 30 years. So I say this because I did not expect such a profound improvement in my health and my energy and my ability to train when I started on these products because I thought I'm already reached the pinnacle. I haven't been sick for 30 years. How much better can it be? I feel 30 at 58. Now I feel 20. So, you can trust the study on monkeys, but those little monkeys, they only had one dose a week. I'm taking it 3 to 4 times a day. Okay. Wow. So I can tell you, I feel way better than the monkeys did or do. And I feel literally 10 years younger. And the only thing I've added to my whole lifestyle since I began and was introduced to Nutronics Labs is Nutronics Labs. These products right here, before the 1,000,000 nanogram bottle came along, which is a recently formulated product, I was using the 600,000 along with the 300,000 in the Man's Edge. That was my stack. Those three. Same thing I put Roy and everybody else on. And the moment the 1,000,000 bottle came out, because I got to try that. That's just me. I can't leave that on the shelf. I gotta have it. So as soon as I went on it, it was like next level. I'm talking to all my guys, and the most amazing thing is not just libido and strength and energy and building muscle and recovering faster. It's assisting people with mental clarity, focus. It's actually helping improve drastically the cognitive function of all my retired boxers who have all been hit in the head thousands of times over the years sparring. We see them get hit a few times in the ring when they have a fight, but we don't see what happens behind the scenes when they're sparring in these camps for 6 or 8 weeks or 12 weeks prior to these big world champion fights, right? So they've all taken tremendous punishment, not to mention there's no athletes in the world that other than boxers or MMA fighters or wrestlers that, expend so much energy. You have a limited pile of biochemical, you have a limited pool of biochemical resources in your body. And you only can put so many miles on this body. These guys do the most extreme amount of exercise you can imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
More than a military guy going to boot camp to become a Navy SEAL. That's just a short little time period. These guys do it for decades, right? That's why world champion MMA fighters and boxers, they can run circles around one of some of the top military fighters there is. They don't have a chance with these guys, okay? So the reality is they're so depleted. So when it's pulling guys up from being deficient and having no libido at all, haven't seen wood in the morning for decades, within a couple of weeks they're waking up with wood, that got my attention. I'm thinking, wow, I've never seen anything like that before.
It's blowing my mind. It blows my mind.
I want to tell you this. This is the most shocking thing for me. And everybody knows this who's a doctor. Everybody knows this has friends that are bodybuilders or athletes that take, growth hormone, synthetic or TRT or any of those things, right? Or any of the steroids, cypionate, ethanate, whatever, all these kind of drugs that athletes typically take to enhance their performance, right? All of those drugs literally shrink the testicles of men, including the Jimmy and the twins. The whole package will shrink over time. Okay. The first thing that shocked me from the feedback from all my male clients was literally there was growth there. All the guys go, man, stuff's growing, bro. And I'm like, really? You know, that's incredible.
It's going from the acorns back to the walnuts, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's going from the whale eggs to the duck eggs, like it should be.
There you go, Ron. You're a wealth of knowledge, man. It's fantastic. And 6.5 months ago, when I was talking about all this stuff, I just didn't think I could get to where I'm at, and I still got time to go. I got 40 more pounds to go. I'm going to get there, but I'm not going to stop there. I'll maintain the right weight and the health and the things that I'm supposed to do. I'm learning every day. When I have you guys and I talk to you guys and I do my own research, you learn, you apply, you do. It's been fantastic. So Dr. Fong, we'll close with you, and then I'm going to let people have an opportunity just to try it, because the great news about Nutronics Labs and what I love about our founder, Rick Lenteni, is this. After 30 days, if it doesn't work for you, which I find highly unlikely, but if it doesn't, you keep the bottle, you get the money back. I mean, how can you lose? There's no way to lose. Millions of bottles sold, I think 10 million plus, 5-star reviews from, people that buy and continue to buy and continue to buy. That's a long 25-year history of solid results. But what do you say in closing to those watching? And we got a lot of men watching right now because they are dealing with what I was dealing with, but they still have yet to make the move to do something.
Guys, I gotta tell you, this is this is essentially the fountain of youth in a bottle. Let's put it that way. Okay. It's coming straight from ancient Chinese medicine, if you will, over 3,000 years of written history. Deer antler is the thing you take to not only keep your vitality going, but also to recover from illness, to recover from injury. And, again, putting that, which is like I was saying earlier, it's covering you for lack of growth hormone and getting your testosterone levels up. These things are critical in men to make sure that you are the best that you can be. You can maintain yourself no matter how poisonous the world gets, no matter how bad things get around you. And the selfish part is a physician. I'm an integrative doc with a practice here in Reno called the Sierra Integrative Medical Center. I'm also the medical director there. I got to tell you, almost in every single patient, the very least they're going to be on is the Nutronics Labs IGF-1, because it is going to help them change the metabolism, help them recover from the injury. We deal with all kinds of chronic infections. It's going to help the body also revamp that immune system, so we don't sit there and just create random inflammation, but to help redirect that immune system towards what it needs to do. Again, guys, it's all about balance. It's about putting things in what we call homeostasis. It's about putting ourselves to a place where your body's in the optimal place where it can adapt to whatever it needs to be able to grow the correct way, to be able to fend off the wrong things. And when you have these natural compounds that promote the two, in men at least, the two most important hormones in the body, the growth hormone and the testosterone, you're doing it in a way that is not out of balance. If I just give you TRT, if things aren't right, like I said earlier, the receptors or whatever else, that testosterone may not help you, might even be less beneficial or harmful. And you guys know this, if you're taking testosterone replacement over time, you need to take more, because your body, it's building a tolerance, right?
Yeah.
So again, So, and again, putting everything else back in balance is the most important part. Even, certain peptides out there people are using, again, you're taking one thing out of the matrix, so to speak, and trying to utilize it. It definitely could have some benefits, but there's a chance that you're going to throw things out of balance if you don't do it right. And with this is so simple. It's just, squirts under the tongue. As Ron alluded to, there's a liposomal fat-based delivery system that helps it absorb in the capillary beds under your tongue. Just like people who have chest pain, they do like nitroglycerin under the tongue because it has to rapidly get in there. This stuff is going to get 98% or more absorbed, and this is third-party tested, of course, into the bloodstream. It's going to give you that maximal benefit that you can only get when you take these complete, in this case, a complete growth matrix, in this case, a complete growth matrix with additional stuff for the testosterone into that bloodstream, helping your body to get the maximal benefits. helping to really rebuild you, rearrange you to make you in the most balanced, perfect state that you can be, so that you not only are more healthy, but you can thrive, not just survive. Yeah. You're going to thrive.
I like that, thrive. Now, there's a banner going through. You can see the nutronicslabs.com/Sanchez. That's where you go. Why nutronicslabs.com/Sanchez? Because we've got a special for you. Men, look, here's the deal. Women, you're welcome to come and look at some of the offerings for you as well. I'm talking to some of the men right now that are dealing with testosterone, dealing with what I was dealing with. Right now, if you buy a Man's Edge, you are going to get an IGF-1, either 300,000 or the 600,000, absolutely for free. That is a huge savings by going to nutronicslabs.com/Sanchez. And of course, 30 days in, it just doesn't work. And I just don't believe that's going to be the case. But you have the assurances that the company stands behind. You get to keep the bottle, you get your money back. And that's that. It's simple, easy, it works. I encourage you to go on my social media platforms. Anybody that's been following me long enough, you all know I looked completely different 6.5 months ago. 6 months from now, I know I'm going to even look better, and I'm grateful. Dr. Fong, Ron Oliver, I appreciate you both hanging out with us today. Wealth of knowledge. I look forward to having you both on again really, really soon. I appreciate you both very much.
Thank you, Steve. Love you, man. Hey, I want to clarify that the special is going to be where we, if you go on auto ship, where you get a subscription to the Man's Edge, or in the case for the ladies, there's a women's formula, you get half off of it right there. So half off the single bottle price. Then you also get that free bottle of the 300 nanogram with the long jack. And if you add the code Steve on the little thing for a code, we give you an extra 10% off, just because we love you guys.
I love that. Thank you, Dr. Fong. Ron Oliver, be blessed. We'll talk soon.
Take care, guys.